Welcome to The Great Expanse by John Bap 426. So glad you guys are back. If this is your second time, if this is your third time, or if it's your first time, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications. All. And when I drop a new video, you will be the second to know about it because I will be the voice. Because we want The Great Expanse to expand. Now, I've done several videos leading up to the debut of She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney+. Today was the first episode. I do not believe there was a title for the first episode, but I'm actually watching the end credits now. And I'm just going to go over some highlights. I'm going to do a recap. This is obviously not a reaction, a watch reaction, watch along, whatever. But okay, but apparently the car crash clip is where she became She-Hulk. So a ship appeared out of nowhere, no explanation. Hulk just in passing said he ever trying to deliver a message. Okay, all right, whatever. Alien ship shows up out of nowhere? Sure. Okay, no reason really. All right. They go over a cliff. He bleeds on her, and their blood gets intermingled, and she becomes a She-Hulk instantly. I think that's whack. I think that's very whack. There's a moment of in and out of consciousness. I think the Hulk attacked her or something. It was hard to tell because unfortunately I was dozing off a little bit because that was just extremely boring. But somehow she winds up in Mexico, and that's where the Hulk's secret lab is, on a beautiful beach. I mean, that's the perfect place to set up if you're like a human. You know what I mean? I was gonna say like a fugitive from the law or like somebody that's like an outcast from society, but it was a very nice beach, and it was all to the Hulks. I thought it was Hawaii at first, but no, it's Mexico. So this actually takes place after Endgame. Hulk was wearing an inhibitor. He told Jen to keep him from turning into the Hulk, which doesn't make any sense. Why would you be Bruce Banner if everybody already knows you're the Hulk? Who wants to see Banner anymore? Why would you want to be Banner if you're the Hulk and you still have his intelligence and you have all the Hulk strength? Why be Banner? Does the Hulk smell? Like what? I don't get it. All right, so it takes place after Endgame. So obviously, the Hulk said to Jennifer they took a sample of her blood and helped him completely heal his arm. Was he dying from that wound in the car crash? Why would he need her blood when he's the Hulk? The Hulk just has a healing factor. But he didn't want to turn into a Hulk. He wanted to heal as Bruce. So he used her blood to help him heal to become Bruce Hulk. Silly stuff. Okay. So basically the Hulk informs Jennifer that your life can't possibly go back to normal. You're a superhero now. So she doesn't want to do it, so he starts something called DBT, which I am very familiar with, having worked in the mental health field. I've had clients that have gone through DBT. She kind of does the woman thing, just argues and just very opinionated. Like, why I can't do this, I have to go back to my life, blah, 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 blah. So Hulk kind of does a little reverse psychology and talks her into raging into the She-Hulk because she's trying to convince him that she can control her anger because she's been doing it all her life because incompetent men, I quote that line, incompetent men telling her something, whatever. And then she turns into Jennifer Walters. She-Hulk, excuse me. She was already Jennifer Walters, then she turns into She-Hulk. And Hulk is like, ta-da, see? The voice acting of Mark Ruffalo was kind of, I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it's kind of just, it's like one inflection. Yeah, but now you're going to... So he's this huge guy as the Hulk. I mean, just physically, his voice should be thundering because of the size of his lungs, the size of his windpipe. I mean, it should be thunder coming from him. A lot of time is She-Hulk. A lot of time with the Hulk, which is pretty cool. As he's showing her things, of course, she's like doing better than he expected for some reason. I think his point was to show that with all her strength, all her power, she's very dangerous based on her mood, based on her behaviors, which makes sense. So he's telling her that she should stay. She's like, all right, I passed all your tests, which I knew she would do. I'm going back to my life. So he said, no, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to need you to reconsider. So, of course, she tongue lashes him. Where would they get that idea? To have her tongue lash him? Kind of just going into the same familiar bag. Then, of course, she would have to apologize later because she hurt the Hulk. So she says, yeah, I was just using my lawyering or whatever. So now, for some reason, this Jeep was able to shake off the Hulk. This Jeep. He was like thrown by a Jeep. Then a stupid skirmish ensues between the two of them. I guess it's supposed to be comedic. I guess it's supposed to do something. But it was just stupid. I just wrote down the words, stupid skirmish. I have it written there. I'll highlight it. I'll screenshot it off my laptop and put it on there. Stupid skirmish. So then he says, all right, you can go. So, and she actually foretold this because the episode starts with her breaking the fourth wall, saying that I'm really not a She-Hulk anymore, and this is all the explaining that we need to know that she isn't a Hulk anymore. So it immediately goes back to her from the beginning, okay? And she says, "See, haven't been the Hulk since." And she goes into her courtroom. She's giving closing arguments about her client, and Titania interrupts right at her closing argument. It's not even a fight. She-Hulk just beats her up, punches her into the wall, and Titania makes a noise that's supposed to be humorous. And then the cops arrest her. How are you going to arrest her? As powerful as Titania is. And I believe this was a setup, clearly. Somebody wanted to see Jennifer Walters Hulk out in person. I think her client did that. I don't think her friend did it with all the layers of beads, like an old movie star from the 20s. I don't know if her client did it or not. But somebody set this up to see the She-Hulk's power. That episode actually ends pretty cool because it's Eve playing Who's That Girl? Oops. No copyright claim, please. Or a strike. Then there's like a mid-credit scene where she pretends to be drunk to find out if Captain America is a virgin, which has no bearing on anything. And I wrote down sickening drunken acting. So I was going to give some bad points to Tatiana Maslany, but she was acting drunk just so she could find out if Captain America got his thing going and didn't die a virgin. And someone thought that was a good idea to put it in the show. Now, as I said, I just finished watching it. I fell asleep a few times in the beginning because it was boring. I'll see where episode 2 takes us. If I'm gonna give this a letter grade, I'm gonna give this first episode a B. Alright? Wasn't a failure, but wasn't grabbing. Like, obviously we're gonna see the She-Hulk do some phenomenal things. But nothing's been set up here. The show basically ends where it begins. We know she's a She-Hulk. That's all we know. Going into episode 2. We know she's a She-Hulk. No story has been set in motion. I mean, clearly we're going to go back and forth to Mexico. I don't know how long that trek is. But apparently she drove. So nothing's been set up. So basically what we know is what she told us. How she became the She-Hulk by having blood dripped on her. Drip, drip, drip. Hulk, Hulk, Hulk. Okay. Episode 2, I guess, will be next Thursday. So that's my immediate reaction. B. Not B for bad, but, scale A to F. I'll give it a B. Didn't blow me away. Didn't set up anything at all. Nothing is set up here. Nothing is set in motion here. And if you watch my reaction to determine whether or not you want to watch it, I'll say watch it for yourself if you're that kind of person. if you're a free thinker, watch it for yourself. You know? Because I really can't, based on this first episode, I wouldn't tell you you need to watch this first episode. Because nothing happens. I'm sorry. Nothing happens in this episode. Episode 2 is probably where the 10 episode season is going to begin. Alright, so that was my immediate reaction, my recap, my retelling, my report, a lot of re's, from John Bat 426 of The Great Expanse. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys next week for She-Hulk Recap Episode 2. Peace. Yeah, there it is. I had failure on the peace sign. Peace. I was pointing to something instead. Peace.